Today, I'm going to share with you a topic that I used to struggle with so much, and I want to tell you a secret. I took forever to figure out my passions. I have changed my major 4 times. I used to be good at many things, but none of that give me enough passion. I get bored of that easily. So I was wandering around and asked myself, what is my passion? And by now you might have figured out that my passion is dawah. And for me to have that clear vision and a plan to get into this place, it took me a long time. Now, being a Muslim, we know that our purpose in this life is to worship Allah. And our ultimate goal is to get to Jannah. But in which way? Because in the hadith, there are so many ways to get to Jannah. Serving your parents, being a hafiz of Quran. There's so many ways that you can get great reward in the afterlife. But knowing your strength will help you to optimize your impact. So how do I discover my real passion? Let's dive into it. I'm going to tell you 4 questions that you can ask yourself. Let's take out your pen and your paper for that, okay? Hold on a second. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Let's dive into it. Okay, so number 1 question is, what activities you can keep doing without anyone telling you to do or paying you? But one rule here is it cannot be an entertainment, because everyone can keep watching TV. No one gonna tell me to do, but I can keep doing it because it's very low energy type of activity. You are just doing it because it's comfortable for you. Maybe because you are in low energy point at that time and you're just doing it without even thinking about it. So no entertainment involved here. Now, if someone like drawing, for example, it's still entertaining, but when someone really like drawing, they're gonna find way to draw with more creativity, with playfulness. So that is a bit different. It still can be entertaining for you, but you still have to struggle a little bit while doing it. So this question gonna tell you basically your hobbies, things that you genuinely like to do. So I'm gonna give you an example of what I would write for myself there. I love organizing. Sometimes when I get stressed out, I just pull my stuff out and then I organize my stuff because it's free myself, and I even go on YouTube watching things about organization. That is my hobby, right? So you can have 10, 15 of those, but make sure you write them down, okay? So let's take a couple of minutes writing it down. You can pause this video if you want, okay? Let's brainstorm. All right, I have written things down. Let's move on to the second question. The second question is, what are things that if you don't do in 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, you're gonna feel so empty for not doing it? In another word, what make you feel fulfilled? It's different from your hobbies, because I love drawing, I like designing, I like organizing, but if I don't do it, I am not gonna die. Unless my house gets so messy, then okay, I'm gonna have to do it. But if I have someone to do it for me, yeah, why not, right? So the first question, I'm gonna tell you something that could be more short term. And the second question is for more of the long term thing. Here's an example. What I write for number 2 is to visit the older people. I have so many friends that are older and I love to visit them, to be their company. For me, that's my act of service. So if I was changing my lifestyle and I cannot do much of organization, it's okay for me as long as my house is not messy. But if for 1 month, 2 months, I cannot go around and visit the older, talk to them and show them gratitude, I would feel empty inside of me. I would feel like I'm missing something. So things that fulfill you is part of your identity. You cannot take it away for a long time. Otherwise, it's gonna eat you up. You're gonna feel like you lose energy for not doing it. So you see the difference? Number 1 is your hobbies. It's just something that you genuinely like to do. But number 2 is something that gives you the fulfillment. And make sure that you write these answers in an order, because that is going to help you narrow down step by step your thought process, okay? So let's pause and write things down now. Okay, are you ready for the third one? Number 3 is, what gives you butterfly? What does that mean? So there's certain thing that when I am doing, I haven't done yet, but just the thought of making it happen, it gives me the butterfly feeling in my stomach, my heart starts to beat, and I just feel so much excitement. And usually those would be things that give you the sense of growing. I might like to take care of other people, absolutely, but this activity is just enough to fulfill me, but it doesn't make me grow. When I'm taking care of other people, I am giving away something, and I'm giving it away out of my comfort zone. I'm not really gaining any new knowledge. However, it can be part of someone's passion if later on they say that I really want to open a center where the elder can be gathered together and talk to each other. There'll be someone to be there with them. You know what I mean? Like that person might take that to another level later on. So it really depends from one person to another person. But for myself, that is just in my comfort zone. I like to go a little bit extra mile for that, but not too much. Now, there's something so important to learn here that it took me forever to realize is what fulfill you is not the same with what make you grow. Because I can have so many hobbies, I can have so many things that make me feel fulfilled, but that satisfaction is not gonna last long and it's not gonna be strong enough for your future dose. After you get the first dose, you're gonna want to get a higher dose. But because it's not attractive enough for you, it wouldn't give you that urge to get to the second dose, and you get stuck in the first dose and then you get bored of it. And so many of us mistaken between a hobby, a fulfillment, and a passion. And that's why we would see someone go wandering around with so many things, and then later on they still cannot figure out that piece that gives them enough passion for them to keep striving and striving. And then they might say that, okay, I just don't have anything that I'm actually good at. No, this person might just not figure out the thing that they have enough passion to keep going. So that is so important to see the difference between fulfillment and growth. So let's take time to write that down. And by now you might have seen less answer compared to number 1 and number 2, because things that make you grow, usually you can count. So let's take some time to write that down. Okay, let's move on to number 4. What is your passion? So the way that you would figure out your passion is you want to take all of this, all right? And then you're going to make 3 circles like this. And then you're going to try to fill that out. Each of the circle is going to be number 1, number 2, and number 3. And then that thing in the middle where they overlap would be your passion. So the only passion that I'm seeing here for myself is travel and dawah. Wow, I can still travel while I'm doing dawah. I think that's a good goal. So the part that overlaps would fulfill all of the 3 categories. How does that happen? I can keep doing dawah without anyone paying me. Like what I'm doing right now, no one is paying me, but I still love doing that, right? Number 2 is, does it give me fulfillment? Yes, absolutely. I remember when I was volunteering for this organization, I would go to state fairs to do dawah. And for each of the events, I would spend so much time for planning and contacting people. A lot of time I was spending for it, and I don't mind doing it at all. Later on I get paid, but before that I was doing it voluntarily, and I kept going. And when I get home, I just get so much fulfillment. Number 3 is, does it give me butterflies so much? Before me even carrying out this plan, just thinking about it already gave me so much excitement in my heart. I just love doing that. So that is just a small example of my passion. And what I want to tell you here is it might take you a long time. You might go through so much trials and errors to get there. It is completely okay. But I'm just giving you these questions so that you can have more clarity in your path. If one of those 3 elements is missing, it might not be strong enough for you to make it as your passion. Otherwise, if it's just enough in the level of hobbies or fulfillment, you will soon see yourself quitting it after a while. It's not gonna last you a very long time. Now, the great news for you is, even though other hobbies or fulfillment is not part of your passion. It can support you in your passion and make you stand out in your field. For example, I have the passion in Dawah. There's so many people have the same passion with me. But then when I have some background in psychology, that would help me to have more understanding of why humans think in certain way. That would support me in my Dawah. When I have some background in teaching, that would help me in my public speaking. When I have some background in art, drawing, then that would help me in making flyers, for example. So those kind of small hobbies still can serve you and make you have that niche so that you're gonna be more stand out and unique in your field. However, you just need to make sure that those small hobbies is not the center of your passion. As long as you have that passion thing figured out, then those small hobbies is going to serve you. Now I'm going to share with you this hadith where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that every one of you is a shepherd and is responsible for his flock. And let's take a look at this verse. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to have something that you are good at, that you perform better than most of the people you know. And you are passionate about that people have no clue what that is. Now, if you figure out that strength, that passion, isn't it so beautiful that you use that passion to serve the world, contribute to the society? You are in charge of something and benefits the rest of your flocks, the rest of other people. So hone that skill, sharpen that skill, because it's gonna change people's life. Think about it. A chef can make someone's day. When a husband wants to take his wife out for a dinner that the husband cannot make, but he just wants to give that treat for his wife. So it's gonna make the husband happy and the wife happy and maybe their kids as well. There are two verses that I want to share here. The first verse is the example of those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah. It's like a seed which grows 7 spikes. In each spike is 100 grains. Allah multiplies his reward for whom he wills, for Allah is vast and knowing. The second verse is, and whoever saves a life, it is as though he has saved the lives of all mankind. So you see that every single good deeds that you do, it's gonna have the domino effect. Just one good deed can send to multiple people, and helping those multiple people to send multiple good deeds to multiple people. But imagine you're not only doing one good deed, you're doing multiple good deeds, because that is part of your strength. So that's how you lead. You are the key of good, and you influence other people and let those receivers to be the key of good themselves. So ask yourself today, what is your passion?